Hello, good evening. Good evening, good January. You are here with us, the DCC, the Pretenders to the Throne, or just the DCC Pretenders for short. We are pretending like we know what we're doing. Um, I am Clay Lifeward. I'll be your judge for tonight, as per usual. And let's go around real quick and introduce all our fine folks here, and we'll do a recap after that. So, Thorin, since you're back from the wherever the
I
mine pits, the tar pits, let's get you in there.
yeah, hey, welcome back. I've been in the mines of Kessel for a long time. I've learned a lot and now I'm back. I have no idea where my character's been or what he's been up to. Last thing I know, I turned into a cat girl on the stream. And that's about the last thing, but I
Wait,
don't know if
what?
that's actually true.
What do you?
Elena put a cat girl picture up in my
Oh,
stead.
that's like
That's the last thing I remember about this. So
really
glad to be
quickly.
back.
I went from feeling like I was really confident about going forward tonight to being like, oh my god, there's a cat person. All right, I'm just gonna do Hollywood Square style and just kind of go the direction that people come up on my own screen. So James,
Yep, I'm James. I play Father Marcus Publianus. He is a kind of a prison prophet of sorts from a prison colony on I believe, the rim worlds of the this galaxy, the setting we're in. And I'm just here to have a good time. I have no idea what I've been up to since last time. Since I was unable to make it. But
we will have a sweet,
yes,
sweet recap for that.
yes.
And now,
Hi, yeah, I'm Anel. I'm playing Lucia Fonaire. I'm a doctor with no bedside manner, um, and psychokinesis.
psychokinesis
Yeah.
and Rocky.
Yes, I'm Roxual, Rocky, whatever you want to call me, and my character is Hydra. Hydra is the cook of this little expedition, and I am an empath.
You can call him whatever you want, just don't call him late for dinner. And last but definitely not least, large and in charge, put her on the spot, Elena. For the everyone knows who you are, but just for fun. Oh, they can't hear you. I'll just talk. I'll translate for her. Hi, I'm the Wizard of Oz. That's what she said. Nice to see you again. Though I don't like any of you. Though I don't like any of you. Why are you saying that? Well, you want me to really say that?
Wow,
You're
rude.
all a bunch of big, big dummy heads. That's kind of a weird thing to say. We couldn't do any of this without the wizard behind the curtain pulling the switches. So thank you so much, Elena, for everything you do. Whatever that might be. I have no idea because I'm dumb. Premise wise, just for those maybe tuning in for the first time, because it takes a while to build up an audience, I think. This is one of the I love DCC because it's not just in like a little contained little, it's not like one type of epic fantasy you can do. So this is about a humanity's future, 40,000 years from today, where man has made an exodus from a dying earth. Intended little reference there. And has established an intergalactic empire based on having discovered these alien protocols that allow a man to basically kickstart their evolution, becoming more evolved species called the Ulta. And those who have evolved or kind of represent the kind of elite class, the 1%ers, the ones that are in large and in charge. And everyone kind of wants to be what they are, I suppose. And with your ascent, like becoming more, almost, godlike to some degree, you gain certain abilities. That's why you've heard a couple of people mention that they have special abilities. They are not these evolved Ulta ruling class, but what happens is in the society of the Empire, there are children that have upon puberty or around that time manifest an ability to interact with this ethereal form called the Eretzinu or the Pneuma, which is basically in the sci-fi equivalent of like what would power all magic. They can interact with this living life force to and give some of their own physical energy, almost like spellburn, to be able to do spell-like effects. In this case, we've got a lot of these kind of like mutant crawl classic style, like, you know, psychokinesis and stuff like that they start with. So they specifically, this group work for, they are those who are those special humans, atavisms. Atavisms are humans who are not evolved. They are as if, well, I guess what you would call pure strain humans back in the old Gamma World days. Very reminiscent of the Terran exiles, or the ones who made the exodus from Earth many years ago. But some of them were born special, and all the PCs here have been culled from, tested, and found to be of special talents. They're called potents, and they are assigned to a organization called the Seraphim, which serves the greater godlike Ulta. And you guys are all in the branch of the Seraphim called the Bureau of the Survey Bureau. Your guys are basically going out to interesting areas of uncharted space. Specifically, this mission was started because your team, along with some overseers that are NPCs, were sent out to find the last remaining lost colony of man during the exodus from Earth 40,000 years ago. Some ships just kind of got lost. You got to break a few eggs, right, to make an omelet. Some of them got lost in the great crossing across the universe to their new home, and all have been determined since then, except for one. You guys found this in your mission. You went out, you're in deep space, far from the safety of the Imperium, found a habitable world covered with humans, and there are no aliens that you guys have ever discovered in this universe. It's all humanocentric. Some humans have evolved in such a way that they're almost non-human, but whatever. So came across this planet where, like, humans, they are not tied to the Imperium. They must be this lost colony. So you went in for embedded anthropological research to determine exactly what's going on. Following a distress beacon from an old colony ship, further proving the status of this place. The old colony ship is this giant basically like a space needle that sticks out of the ground for miles, and it looks like the greatest, tallest mountain on this planet, that's operating at a medieval level. This mountain, this holy mountain, so to speak, is thought by the locals to be the home of the gods. You guys are going to examine it to try to see if any of survivors or any information, intelligence is kept within this colonial ship that's now a permanent fixture on this planet. You guys landed. You guys were sent. You had to go through a very treacherous woods to a very creepy and treacherous woods that kind of like lay before this mountain, because you never want to land directly next to your targets, because, you know, if you do, you might draw unwanted attention. The ship itself was disguised. You have this like kind of like a thing that makes it look like a rock, or, you know, it projects like an image around it, like a masking screen. But as a big chunk of you were sent into the woods, you have soon learned that, almost as if they knew they were coming, which is crazy because this is a completely happenstance that you found here, or is it? Your expedition dropship was attacked by forces unknown. You weren't there for that. You found out about it through radio communication, but in the woods, still continuing your mission. ... I'll let you, Rocky, if you want to take over the recap for where we specifically are, if I covered enough good material.
Well, I will do my best. So there was us and a big sloth man, huge sloth man mutant that we're following. He was leading us to safety, hopefully, and he was holding our ship's android, who was holding an enemy combatant. And
one of the ambush squad that came after your ship, they also sent a detachment after you guys.
Yeah, and so yeah, we're running from the unseen enemy. there's like a big rush of these mutant deer things that are kind of inside out, and we evaded, that without too much trouble. And then uh, I believe that we ran into, or the mutant was trying to call out to its family or something because we were getting close to where it was going to its home, and there was no reply. We then ran into a mech, 2 arms, 2 legs, long torso, and it had it had blaster on each hand, and was firing at us. And then we surrounded it and was kind of attacking it. And then the other enemies that were chasing us came, and we continued to try to take apart this thing. And um, then the sloth man ran to the side. These guys spread out. There was waves of them that were coming after us. Same as the guy that our android Constance was holding, and um, some, one had one would have a laser scepter, and the rest had crossbows. And they then went to try to surround us, one on either side, and then I believe then the sloth man then went to the side, and now went just far enough to be able to keep an eye on things. uh Danill was got inside and was trying to free the pilot. There was red lights going off, alarms, and I learned through my power that it was going to blow up. And uh Danill had pulled the joystick, which made the gunfire, which took out some of our enemies that were coming. So it wasn't as bad as it was, the numbers wise. And then uh but unfortunately it cooked the driver, I believe, as well as him getting hit by some of the enemy. And then I started to go into the woods, but as I went into the woods sideways, before I passed Danill, who had been attacked by the crossbowman closest to her, uh, Lucia, excuse me, and I ripped them apart or whatever. I completely obliterated them as I was running by, and then as I got farther in, ran into what looked like some natives or holy people, and I had staves, and I think bald heads. And they, as Clay pointed out, something similar to "come with us if you want to live." Like they're gonna guide us to safety, hopefully, or help us. That's where we stopped off, I believe.
I think you nailed it. I'll add a few little just color on that for a couple of our players who need to be caught up to. So basically, there's something about these entities. You, to the best of your knowledge, when you landed upon this world, you were the only ones from the Imperium. You're the only advanced members of an advanced civilization here, planning on following your prime directive of non-interference and disobservation. But then when you start getting attacked by these people, you realize they have advanced future tech weapons similar to yours, but older, several hundred years older, but recognizable still, because what's several hundred years when you're 40,000 years in the future. So they have versions of your basically laser weapons, which you referred to. They're called las scepters. They're basically like little glass tubes that shoot lasers. Not like a lightsaber, but like just like a bolt. Anyways, they have these like these comparatively archaic versions, and they had a bunch of other like communicators and stuff that were throwbacks to many generations before your own birth, but still way in the future of like our own humanity. So that seemed a little odd because there was no known other expedition that would have been here, and their technology was still more advanced than that which would have existed when the original Lost Colony ship would have crash landed here or whatever. So that's a little you know. Also, they all have a couple things in common. They're all wearing the same type of like field plate armor, like this blackened kind of charred plate that has a green flame emblem on it. You managed to capture one of them, which I think you referred to. Constance, your now battle damaged android, who looks mostly human except for her. I think her left arm is hanging loose and she has a pretty massive limp. She's been kind of carrying this guy. The inside out bears and the weird kind of like mutant bears, something in this forest tends to mutate all the local flora and fauna. You're not sure exactly what it is yet, but something is mutating them, and you befriended the one that was trying to take you to safety. Did he tell you his name yet? I don't think he told you his name yet, did he?
I don't remember, but if he did, it was.
Does have enough intelligence. He's not just a bear. He also writes poetry. Now he's also just semi-intelligent. But he was taking you where he thought was the safest because he kind of gave you a choice. Do you want to go closer to the mountain, which is kind of your mission objective, or do you want to get to something he knew was safe? Y'all chose to go where he knew was safe, where you encountered this thing called a Titan, which is something that Anel's character, being a nostal, which is somebody who deals in nostalgia, knows, is basically a historian, a kind of an armchair
How dare you?
historian. Yeah. Basically recognized
So rude
as
to call me that.
an ancient form of robot suit that a lot of times when people would land on new worlds, they would kind of use those to like survey because they could take care of themselves if push came to shove. So you came across an old school one that's old enough to have been probably from the original landing because it didn't have imperial markings on it. It had United Nations markings on it, back from Earth. You managed to screw that up pretty good. I mean, screw up the suit really good, causing the pilot to be shot by his own compatriots who happen to be trying to ambush you. The more of those guys in the black suits and the green flames, and they shot at you from the woods. You have one hostage, or not hostage, you have a captive you took with you from them, which I don't think you've really begun thoroughly questioning yet, but fled into the woods trying to get away, and they kept seeming to be able to follow you. After a while, you realized there was a homing device that I think you were able to disable. You were also able to you could not communicate with your ship. Realized that they were jamming your signal, again showing advanced technology. You were able to destroy the jammer, get a signal through where your commanding officer back at the dropship basically told you they were under attack and was not able to give you further orders before the signal went dead. And while running, realizing that you were outnumbered and these guys are closing in pretty good, and having now to divert from your original goal of getting towards this friendly bear monster's home, because like Rocky was saying, he discovered that they already beat them there and probably killed his family. You ran a different direction into danger, but still into the deeper, scarier woods. That was the one remaining option. You could either go to the likely ambush that was set up at the bear's family's abode. You could go towards your enemies, or you could go into the thickest part of the weird mutant woods where even the trees are deadly. And so you took
Swamp.
Yeah. Exactly. And you have Artax with you, and if you get stuck in, he's gonna get in the swamps of sorrow. No, so you went that way, and not very long after, another group that apparently had been following you or ran into revealed themselves. They were basically 4 people, 2 men and 2 women, all looking very similar, wearing these kind of very pristine kind of cream and red colored robes, all with shaved heads and some weird facial tattoos. They all having like staffs. They look very much like Kung Fu the Legend Continues kind of thing. And they communicated directly to you in your common tongue, which is also a thing. Just to remind everybody, everyone here, an uncommon thing is the common tongue. No, because more than likely a lot of the people here are descendants of this original lost colony, and you guys still speak a version of a kind of international English. they're understandable, but they basically said to you, come with us if you want to live. And that's pretty much where we stopped. Now, one thing for Thorin, since you weren't here, something that you should be aware of too is that when earlier on Thorin scouted ahead because he saw something shiny he wanted to go check out. What is your character's name again, Thorin? Remind me.
It's Danill.
I don't want to say Dionysus. But then like when they went after him, he had disappeared, and they were like, "Uh-oh, they must have gotten him." Then a while later, as you guys were still traveling in the woods, he showed back up, kind of dazed and confused, but still functional. Kind of maybe missing some time out of your not being maybe missing a few, like an hour or so out of your itinerary. Not sure what happened to you. You're a little bit like a little floopy in the head, so who knows what happened.
That happens a lot in real life too. So
I know that's why we did that. And a final note would be that with you, besides this fine group of fine people here, there's only a few other people. Well, obviously there's the mutant bear that's been helping you out. There is Constance, the ship's android. If you're an android, even though you look very human, it is illegal to not be represented as an android. They have to be like out and proud about it. So and your mission kind of company android is here. She's been helping you out. She is holding a captive one of these green flame guys that you guys caught, the one that had the jammer that you broke down. And then the last person is still, correct me if I'm wrong, we still have the first officer from the mission who actually represents like the Imperium with you, Durand, right?
I thought we left him behind.
No, he got pulled back. You left behind the weird fungus people you found in the bottom of the tree, like Aubrey and his wife.
Oh, okay.
He just doesn't do much.
He's pretty wounded.
Yeah.
He's useless.
We patched him up. That's a good excuse, though.
Yeah.
He's useless.
So
useless commander.
We are here as we begin.
Red shirt.
We are you just entered the deepest, darkest, tightest, the space between the trees are very minimal. All the tree trunks are like black and crusty and have weird fungus on them, and some of them have like sharp edges, and they're very like uninviting. These trees are not something you want to touch. When you've examined them earlier, you saw that they're actually crawling. The bark is actually crawling, almost fluid-like. But as you basically, I guess you felt that you probably had very little choice at that point, or the least of three evils, you decided to go this direction. And that's when they revealed themselves, these four wanderers, stepping out in front and not really identifying themselves other than letting you know that you should go with them. They all do. One thing I forgot to remind you of, they all have the same emblem on their own robes. Where the robes connect, they form a hand like this, almost like not the Uruk-hai orcs, but I guess kind of like that, but not as evil looking. This is open.
Manos, the hands of fate.
Manos, the hands of fate. Yes. So
they also have tattoos on their.
They have some. They have tattoos, and actually, if you're going to want to in a moment, you might actually have a chance. You would be the only one that might have a chance of kind of recognizing them. So we'll talk about that. I will remind you two things. You're there. You're with everybody else. I will remind you of two things real fast. We do use the fleeting luck, the Linkmar fruit fleeting luck. So at the beginning of every session, it all resets. Doesn't matter how much you had before or didn't have before. Everyone has one fleeting luck, which is the one that you can spend on anyone, unlike normal DCC luck, which can only be spent on yourself. Fleeting luck you can spend on any of your comrades as long as they're in the vicinity. Like if someone's in a different city or you don't know what they're doing, that would be the only time you couldn't do it. But other than that, if they're within a reasonable distance from you, or even if you couldn't know what's going on with them to some extent, you could probably do it. And we will be using my own homemade. We're going back to using our funky initiative rules, which we can go over when and if it becomes relevant again. I'll give you everybody a refresher because it is one of the most unique things about our kind of house rule mechanics here. But we won't sweat that right now. So we can get started. And
I think I'm a member.
Well, good for you. I'm just kidding.
No,
I feel like
no.
I think I could
Well.
really reuse another recap right now. Right. Let's go for another initiative.
No.
No, I'll save it. It's really easy. It's easy. I promise. Anyway, so you can still going this direction. You've put a little distance from yourself from the enemies. You don't know their numbers. You know they're pretty good. You did blow up a good number of them when you detonated the when the Titan mech exploded. But oh, actually, no, it wasn't that. It was that you fired the cannons. That's what it was. But regardless, so but there's a good number. There's a scary amount of them, probably 10-ish, maybe. But the nice thing is, having gone this direction, you kind of like gave yourself a temporary reprieve. You can still hear them in the background, but not quite as loudly. There's a little bit of distance now. You might have thrown them off your scent, because no sane person would go into the part of the woods that you just went into Fangorn Forest. And standing before these four very human, very peaceful faced people with these tattoos, I would say, and now if you would like, because you're right there, why don't you know what, I'm just going to give it to you because you would recognize this. I think you can take you could take a roll to see if you can get more detail, but I'll give you a baseline. As someone who one of your weird backgrounds is you traffic in your little side hustle is trafficking in nostalgia, which is technically illegal because in the Imperium there's only one official history. They don't like any reminders of the past, so that's become kind of like a big like side business. People wanting like 80s rock and stuff like that. I don't know, whatever they want. But because that you can recognize certain markings and of particular importance is their markings, even though let's see if you can read them. Why don't you go ahead and roll an intelligence check? And this would just be add your intelligence modifier to a d20 roll. It's not a roll under. This is just a roll plus your modifier. And
total is 16.
Awesome. Okay, then you might see some of it. So you recognize the script that's specifically from the Lux Vulgata. The Lux Vulgata is in the chamber of the chamber of illumination on the new homeworld of the Imperium. They built it around this alien find, though they've never seen the aliens. It's basically this like almost like holy scripture left behind to be found by humans by and probably other evolved creatures that are trying to help you evolve. That's how you guys jump started your evolution. So all the ruling class have absorbed this like holy scripture, which could actually physically change their bodies. You recognize key symbols in the script that was written in the Lux Vulgata on the walls of the holy temple on Edo Prime, which is the new Earth of the Imperium. Not something that you're allowed to just like wear around. Like that would be considered like probably illegal.
Saying Yahweh or whatever.
Unless you are an Ulta, like one of the evolved. It's almost like, what do they call it? Sumptuary laws, and medieval sumptuary laws where only certain people could wear the color purple, for example, because it showed their status, and if you didn't, you could get like flogged or have your hand cut off or something.
So where is this script on them?
Some kind of framing the sides of their face, and you recognize perhaps most of it you can't see, but you think with some degree of confidence you recognize a few of the words. Basically, there's a word that doesn't have a direct translation to English, but basically means continuity. Continuity or everlasting, something along those lines. It's kind of a combination of those concepts. It's basically keeping something the same. That's the one that really sticks out. And the only other one you can kind of recognize is another word that doesn't have a direct correlation, but it means something like force of will, or like a force that can counter, like that can act as a, like, I can stop you from doing something, but in a less violent sense. It's like a subdual force, I suppose. So those are the ones you kind of recognize that are kind of front and center on their tattooages.
Right.
And of course, that might, there's a hand that's also kind of doing this on their chest. So maybe that,
Right.
whoever. So that I'll basically, the four of them just stop in front of you. They looked, you notice that two of them look to your bear pal who's up there and kind of just nod, and he kind of just like nervously kind of nods back, this 9-foot tall bear man that you've been traveling with. And then one of the two women in the group, she kind of steps in front of the men and her the other woman with her, and says, "I am Pavia. You do not have much time. We must go now, if you wish to not become captives. But that one," and she points to the prisoner you have, "that one may not come."
Well,
Constance holds him and kind of looks at him. He's now that kind of like brought him back to this captive. This kind of brought him back to reality out of his kind of like dazed stupor as he's been injured and being carried by his captor.
We kept him for questioning.
He's like, he starts like stammering, and now for the first time looks not defiant but scared. And he's just like, "What does that mean? What does that mean? You're not gonna what are you gonna do?" He's like he's not looking to her, he's looking to you guys like you're his friends or something.
I'm gonna walk towards him and say, "Remember when you told us that there's nothing we can do after what you did? Well, right now it looks like there's nothing you can do."
That wasn't because of me that I said that. It had nothing to do with me. It has to do with the grand scheme of things. It's bigger than all of us. I wasn't threatening you. I was just telling you what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Talk to the hands.
I mean it.
Talk to those hands.
The rest of you can kind of see, who are not engaging with him, can kind of see there's a little bit of an internal debate between the four people that are standing. They seem like maybe the rest of them are possibly disagreeing with Pavia's assessment of the situation. They're keeping it low enough that you would have to try something. You would have to do something to try to hear, maybe like scooch in or something if you wanted to hear, or like, whatever.
And I guess Marcus will speak up or kind of look over and at everybody who's wounded, Durant, Constance, and would he be able to catch the attention of the group, or are they the group of the four natives?
You want to? Yeah, you could totally, if you wanted to. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, and
Because they definitely have one eye on you guys. So
all right, I think Marcus would speak up and say, "Is there any worth in letting him live?"
His kind are not allowed where we will be taking you. You seek the holy mountain. This we know. It's not a question, it's a statement. If you still wish to continue your goal, this one cannot come. They are the reasons why we were put into positions of defending its territory. Ones just like him. They are the descendants of the Sanguine Order.
That's weird.
And they are death incarnate. And that guy's just like, he does not look like death incarnate. He's just like, what? He could not look any less like death incarnate right now, except for the fact that his kind of blood-coated armor. But
yeah.
Well, I'm all for going to this mountain, and I don't see any reason why we need to carry another mouth to feed along the way.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with Danill, and I think Marcus would kind of nod along. Maybe look to the others as well to see what their general look is, including our bear companion.
Yeah. This guy, the nervous captive, he speaks up again. My name is Saban. Saban Norlist. I have a family. Please, you can't kill somebody if you know their name. Also, I'm privy to information, stuff that no one knows that I know. I'm not above my status. I can be helpful to you. Things that would bring you great peril if you did not know about.
Funny you didn't answer when we asked. Why don't you start taking off
Understand
your
that
armor?
the penalty of me the penalty of me even having this information is death. It marks me as a traitor. I snuck the information.
I walk up to the other people in our party and say, do we leave him or do we kill him?
I mean, what do we need to kill him? Like, can we just like
Yeah.
tie
I'm
him
just
to a
asking.
tree?
Marcus just would rather let him or just leave him unable to follow us for now, but I don't know.
I want his
All right.
armor. If it's a
Constance, as you guys are talking, Constance looks over. She's been staring him like right in the eye when he's like talking. She's like, based on his blood pressure and his eye dilation, I believe he at least thinks he's telling the truth.
Oh, Constance.
Well, we don't have much time to deliberate.
No, I
Then
agree.
you're,
Let's remove his valuables and tie him to a tree.
He
Well, if we have to, we can kill him too. But
you
Marcus
can easily
You can let the forest do that.
Yep.
Do you want to take his armor off and you've already got his main possessions from him, some of which you destroyed, his radio jammer, his transmitter, which I think no, this is radio jammer. You use your own transmitters to talk about to the ship. He's got his armor on mostly now, which is again like field plate, which is, he's of average size. I mean, anyone that's around, just putting it out there, if you ever wanted it for any reason, this guy's probably about 5'10" and pretty averagely built.
Was he one of the ones, was he like the one being cruel to the bear guy?
He was,
Yeah.
actually.
Let's drop this guy.
They just said
Piece of garbage. I
they
don't care.
wanted to kill him.
Wow.
Marcus won't
I
stop.
mean, no, not like drop, but like let's wrap him up. Let's leave him behind.
Let's wrap him up.
Wrap him up.
Leave me here. If you leave me here, I'm as good as dead if they leave me here. They'll know I failed. I didn't follow orders. They'll know.
We're as good as dead if we keep you with us. So
You're not.
Do we know who they is? Is that someone from a past adventure I wasn't a part of?
I think just all of his cohorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the other green flame.
Well, I mean, it really
Yeah.
sounds like a personal problem then, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
But I have information that you need to survive. I do.
Better talk fast while you get naked.
Look to Pavia. Does he have information that we need? Or I mean,
Who are you asking?
Pavia. I feel like she knows the information we need.
I would have no way of knowing, but I do know that these Lentaki are not trustworthy. No Lentaki is worth their skin.
I mean, there's ways of making this guy spill the beans.
You see, this is the Bond, the guy, you're the captive again. He's like, see, she's so brainwashed. She doesn't even know me. There's a word for what she's doing right now.
You too. It's stalling. You're
Look,
not saying
do we know what each other's abilities are?
I think you guys do,
What about mine?
Yeah. I think we do. It's on the registers.
Does somebody have, kind of maybe quietly, does somebody have the ability to get in his head and get him to spill the beans. Make things uncomfortable for him in his brain pan.
I mean, I've got a mental blast. I don't know if that would play. I don't know if that
I mean,
would.
that's more to hurt them. I think somebody has something that can influence emotional states and or
It's
and, like,
Hydra, I think, but
Yeah, but
yeah.
but I mean, I can't specifically make him talk, but I
Yeah.
can, as a side effect, get snatches of thought from a random person near me. But that doesn't mean that I can control it.
mhm.
I will
You
tell
don't
you
know who you're
what
Unless
to
you
do.
let me
I'll
do it
give
as a
you
power
things.
stunt.
I will. If you take me with you, I'll give you information right now just to prove my worth. What do you want to know? I'll tell you anything.
What do we
need
want to
to
know?
You've been given the opportunity to spill the beans while we've
I
been
know the identity of the
separated,
Inquisitor.
but you haven't said it. We've
I
given
know.
you
I
all
know
this time.
why he cares so much to find you.
Then tell us.
The head of my Inquisition, this group, we are the Emerald Incendiaries. We are from, as that woman said, we are Lentaki. We've come from across the sea. We are magicians. I'm a warrior magician, though I have not earned my spell books yet. But I'm just an acolyte. But we are given the secret of the mountain, which they greedily protect. He kind of looks at Pavia and his people. They killed us in mass and drove us from this country. We've only come back for our birthright, and we're only here to help you, to find you, and to protect you from what's going to happen to you. The Inquisitor, he knows. Kalen, he knows. His name is Kalen Doval. He is the head of this Inquisition. He convinced the God Kings of Lentok to send this expedition to find you before you landed, because he knew he was the key to the future. I'll tell you more, but I can't, not until I know you're not going to kill me or leave me here to be killed.
Cool. I want to use my influence emotion. I'm assuming he's feeling fear, so I want to try to tweak it to desperation, if possible.
More desperation? He's definitely desperate. Do you want to try to amp that up even further?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it kind of bare bones style, or do you want to put any oomph behind it?
No oomph.
Obviously, you can add luck to afterwards, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, go for it. I think was your bonus like a +2 or a +3 or something? I can't remember what it is.
+2 to my power, +2 yin yang thing to my power, and +1 to my intelligence.
Okay, perfect. So
yeah, natural 20.
Oh, nice.
+3.
Well, someone got
Nice.
a look. Okay.
Nice.
So in this case, rolling a natural 20, you'll have a better chance of dialing in kind of what effect you're trying to elicit. So you just trying to, you can be a little bit more specific than if you're just trying to make him even more panicky. You can try to instill
I want him to spill the beans.
Release for his panic, something that, again, you can plant, essentially a safety valve in his brain, or you can try to, that would help alleviate his panic.
Yeah,
if
like
you did something.
Yeah, freeing himself from his secrets that he keeps claiming of should be his exit valve or whatever, his safety valve to feel better. Spill the beans. The faster, the better.
Okay, and then remind me your side effect again, your mercurial effect or the equivalent thereof.
I can hear a random person's thoughts, snatch of conversation, basically like within 20 feet, I think it is, 30 feet.
We should all stand 22 feet away from you.
Roll a let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll a D7. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Roll a D8. Let's do that.
A D8.
And no
Let's see what
modifier.
that
Just
is.
tell me what you get.
5.
5.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So, not sure exactly where you're getting it from. You experience something different than you've ever had before. The thoughts you're getting are like echoing over themselves, almost like it feels like it's coming from a far distance, then echoing and echoing and echoing, and every time it echoes, it's getting closer and louder. But it's like they're there, they're there, they're there, they're there, they're there. I'm inside his mind. That's what you get.
I'm gonna kind of mumble that out as I hear it. Since
Loud enough
we're gathered together.
Give me let's do a roll under luck check. You do have your you can use your fleeting luck if you want to. You have 2 of them.
Not necessarily.
not anywhere near the range.
Okay, nope.
Copy that.
Nope. 'Cause,
Um,
I used 3 luck last time.
Okay, no worries. Who is the would you guesstimate in the group? We didn't do like a marching order type thing, but is any of you guys particularly, would you imagine that you're like super close to Constance and that prisoner? Any of you guys? Or like besides you?
We gathered together.
I feel
I
like
feel like Danill had kind
I
of
feel
stepped
like
up to talk to
Danill and I were kind of towards the back, but maybe would have like moved
I feel
around to see them.
did you guys kind of come forward though to talk to the Paxia and the other ones, or Pavia? Sorry.
Yeah, I
Sure.
guess I'm up front too. So
Yeah, actually though,
yeah,
there is a. I would actually. That's a good point. I just thought of something for you.
They're there. They're there. They're there. I'm in his mind. Mind.
So, James, you would notice something actually. In some, you kind of notice that Durant, your second command who's wounded, is suddenly much more like freaked out and is like sweating profusely.
Mhm.
But
I
you're
go, yeah. Sorry, continue. I didn't hear.
and it seemed to be directly after Rocky's character or Hydra basically said those words out loud.
What's
Also,
going on?
Oh, that's how they're tracking us.
also you're hearing you start in the back row, you guys start to hear it's the shift from your pursuers. They're coming your direction now. You're not sure how much time you got, but probably not much.
All right.
And probably
we can't take him with us.
Yep, I agree. We got to get him out. We wish we could have had the information, but we got to either let him go to get killed by somebody or kill him ourselves. So
I think there's 2 we need to leave behind.
yeah.
We have a traitor in our midst.
Traitor.
Does he know?
Well, I was repeating.
well, did you
Yeah.
Who's
well,
sweating over there?
did
Ambushes right here.
James, did your character bring this up? Because you're the only person that noticed this.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. We skipped over it for a moment. So, yeah, Marcus says Durant's sweating.
Durand kind of looks at all of you guys and he says, "Forget. I don't know what's happening, but they're here in my head. This one." He manages to get his last scepter out. Probably initiative time.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
quick reminder, everything works as normal as far as how we roll for stuff, but instead of determining your place in initiative, you take the number you roll modified by your normal initiative modifiers. That becomes a point pool. So if you roll and if you naturally roll an 11 and you get a +2 to your initiative, you would have 13 points. Much like old school segments in the AD&D and whatever, every combat round is broken down into 10 segments, which denote the order, starting with segment 1, then to 2, 3, which the order in which things happen. Anything that happens on the same segment is simultaneous, but what happens is the first time you want to act, and only the first time you want to act, you add the segment number to your point pool. So if you want to act in segment 1 and you had 13 points, you now have 14 points to go with. Because of that, you have to spend anything you want to do that's your normal stuff you want to do. If you want to take an action, everything costs 8 points. If you want to go 30 feet, it costs 8 points. Like a normal move, if you want to make a normal attack, 8 points. Anything that would be normal within your abilities. So like later on at a higher level, if you had 2 attacks because you're like 5th or 6th level or whatever, those 2 attacks will only cost 8 points each. And anytime you can spend that, you can go. You could do them in the same segment. You can't do 2 things in the same segment. That's the only thing that's different. But if you don't normally have say only, like right now it only has 1 attack or 1 action, right? You don't have like 2 actions per so anytime you ever would want to do something, let's say you rolled extremely well and you waited till late in the round, in theory you could do more than your normal allotment, but every time you take something that's outside your normal action or movement or whatever pool, it doubles the price, and then it compoundedly doubles. So like if you don't normally get an action 2, it would cost, that second action would cost you 16 points. A third action would cost you 32 points. Probably not going to happen, right? Unless you use a lot of luck and you rolled like a nat 20 and you went late in the round. So your pool is like, if you went in segment 8, you would have 8 extra points. You don't gain every time you do something, you don't add the segment points. You only add it the very first thing you do. So if you want to spread out your 2, if you wanted to move in segment 2 only to attack in segment 7 later, you would still only get the 2 points additional. You wouldn't get the 7 for the segment 7. You'd only get the 2 points from the first time you move, or the first time you take an action or do anything in the round. So basically I will call the segments as per usual. And within that period, I'll give you a chance. Anybody who wants to go in that segment, you'll have a short amount of time to make that decision. And if you go, then you spend the requisite points and you do your thing. And there are free actions as well. Free actions do not cost anything, but they do lock you in still to a segment. So if you want, like, I don't know, drink a potion or whatever we decided that, whatever common wisdom is a free action, yell something at a friend, you can do that for no point cost, but it still does lock you into the segment you do it on. So if you wanted to yell to somebody on segment 3, even though you're not doing anything else on segment 3, you're still only going to get the +3 points to your pool from the segment number.
Okay.
So it's not that complicated, right?
Yeah,
Pretty.
I remember it now pretty well.
Yeah,
I think that was a great
straightforward.
summary.
That way, you don't have to like hold actions. You don't have to worry about being in not the optimal order in order to do a chain of interesting tactical stuff. You can still kind of plan with each other in a weird way. But so you would just roll, and I will say this though, until combat starts, the one thing this doesn't really cover very well is just like order of event stuff. So once we're in combat, it works just like that. But I think if it's just like, figure out, I'm saying this to this person and then how much closer the enemy's getting, for that purpose, we can just use the number itself as traditionally. So you don't have to count and add up when you're doing stuff. It's just to give a rough idea of the passing of time. The moment there's an engagement, we'll switch to that, keeping the same roll. So Why just tell me what your modified initiative number is, or your starting point pool for everybody. I'll write it down. Anybody got above a 15?
I got a 17 for
I got a 20.
Danill.
So
Or I think I don't. What's the modifier from?
So it would be for your character, it would probably just be your agility modifier.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a 20.
So 20. Okay. Did you roll in that 20 or
I did.
okay, so that did we ever what was our decision about giving did we ever decide that we're gonna officially that you get discounts for fleeting luck initiative rolls?
Each one, yeah.
What's that?
Yep, last session.
Okay, yo, so now you get an extra point of initiative. You get an extra, so now you have 2
Look.
fleeting luck. Thorin, you said you got a 17?
I need it.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else get above a 15? Or a 10 now? Anybody get above a 10? Anybody above who's left? What else? Whatever else.
It's just me. It's just 7, I think.
4.
4 for Rocky.
Yep.
Oh, right. Okay.
Rocky 4, best of all the Rocky movies. And just kidding. And James, you got what again? 7?
7.
Okay. All right. So again, I'll just use that now for just basic order stuff. And it's really just I'm not even care about you guys acting in order. I just want to make sure I know when the enemy gets closer. So I'm just using that for that right now. But we will hold these numbers for when combat does, or if and when it becomes relevant. Okay. So all right. And I'll just go down the line of people. I guess I will just go ahead and use your numbers there. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. Oh, I need to do one for them too. Sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. So now, again, you guys can see. Oh wait, I need to roll for him too. Sorry. But you're still gonna go first. Okay. So
So he's just reached for his
he managed to get it out.
scepter.
He hasn't necessarily aiming at anybody yet. You see him act basically. These last scepters have like a little red glow and like the safety's been taken off. That's what's happening.
I think if I see that,
Mhm.
I'm going to tell Constance to restrain him.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm such an idiot because this is an engagement at this point. Because now we got a weapon out. It's not just the enemy coming up. Let's go ahead and do the segments. So keep your numbers. Sorry, I should have started off. So we're in segment 1. Does anyone want to do anything in segment 1? That would be before anybody else can do something, because Durand is.
I'm gonna tell Constance to restrain him.
Okay, so now you lock in at 21 points, and that doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
Now let's see how fast, if Constance can go. She has enough to go. So she can try to. I guess if anything I guess we'll do if you ever have a situation where 2 people would be going simultaneously and their actions would counteract each other, I think we can do a contested agility check at that point. Does somebody want to roll for Constance so I'm not rolling for everyone?
I can roll.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. And with Constance, add to your roll +3.
+3.
To your roll.
Maybe I shouldn't be rolling. It's 5.
5, okay. And then maybe not. So now you manage to get it out. She goes, she basically kind of lurches forward to restrain him, but then you notice that his intent is not necessarily to shoot any of y'all. He aims the weapon right at himself, at his head.
I saw this coming.
Yeah.
He does a Wrath of Khan on himself. And that guy like blows himself up to anyway. So he I'm not even gonna roll for that. It's pretty point blank. So yeah, he's no more tracking Durand in on the books. It's very grisly, and the remains drop the to the ground, headless.
What is sorry, what is our prisoner doing? And is he tied up? Like how
Not
sorry,
yet.
how is he?
He's just being held by Candace, and they're in her one using like. Actually, though, she probably she wouldn't have been done enough to drop him to go restrain the other guy. She only
She's
has
being
4
carried.
She is. Well, no, she got set back down. Once you guys came to a stop, the bear set her down, but she's still holding that dude. Whatever I said his name was.
Sabaton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holding
The low roll was her bad arm.
Yeah.
She basically, I mean, I would say she's not dumb enough to like instinctively drop him or anything. So she still got him. He screams in terror at what happens though.
This guy is not a threat like this other lady is saying. I mean, look at him. He's a baby.
He was a total piece of crap though to the poor bear.
Well, I don't know anything about this bear because I wasn't here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Danill might care, but
the
People who are bad to animals.
So basically,
I mean, it's a mutant, right? It's not really an animal.
Even though the last scepter only makes a very like a
his planet. He lives here.
That's fair. That's fair.
These are regular animals to him.
So even though the last scepter only makes a very simple thump noise, the exploding head makes these like little like native bat-like creatures with glowing eyes kind of shoot from the trees, like scatter like a bird scatter when they somebody shoots somebody in a movie.
Great, people will notice that.
They're not coming for you, but they definitely made some noise. So
yeah,
it already sounded like the enemy was kind of converging on your position to begin with. Anyway, so that was that. So we're on. So anybody else on segment 1? All right. So segment 2.
yeah, I'm gonna rush over to his fallen corpse.
Okay.
Because in an attempt where I was trying to restrain him, but it happened too late. So.
Did you want to? Are you looking for anything on him, or are you just what are you doing?
I think I'm just kind of in shock from what's going on, but the
smoking Laz scepter is still, the barrel of it smoking is still just gripped in his hand, as if his hand still has almost like his hand still has power behind it. It's probably just a reflex.
Yeah. And Marcus just curses loudly and kind of is just at his side. Yeah.
Rand, I loved you.
But he's I guess in the meanwhile though, he'll start trying to look for things that could have been taken as per protocol, his training.
Do you want to pull the Laz scepter from him?
Yes.
And he does have an access card on him. Were you ever to get back to the lander, it's the weapons closet access card.
Yep, this is Marcus's call. No. But yeah, I'll definitely take the access card, the Laz scepter, among other things, and search maybe for some other incriminating evidence or whatever. Yeah.
Just a few prophylactics in his wallet. No, I was kidding. No, there's other than that, he does have a communicator that matches. I don't think you guys have the same communicators. I don't think it's anything special about it. I think y'all's were just as nobody's got destroyed or anything. So, but you do have one. He does have one, and do you want that as well, or?
Yeah.
Other than that,
I'm gonna write this
has his skiing suit. He didn't damage it because it was his head. It is so skiing suits are relatively self-repairing. I can't remember if anybody else took any significant damage to theirs. You can almost like take a section of one of them and use it. It'll basically weave itself into another one to make a patch. I don't know if anybody
I think mine did. I got like
That
a
sounds about right.
crossbow. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt me, but we talked
Right.
about it
You get stuck in yes.
gouging a hole or something.
Yeah, probably not one that was like couldn't be repaired. Now, if you did want to take some in case for later, you could do it. It's gonna let you. It'll take you a full round to carve off a section or to remove a sizable enough section to be worth a damn. Just FY Izzle. Do you want to? Are you done with what you want to do right now? Having searched him. Oh, actually, I forgot. Do you want to spend the rest of your time searching him? Just continue. I shouldn't have said, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was gonna say you found it. So there is a thing that you recognize as an offline data chip, which is basically a tiny little message that doesn't normally you guys all have in your communicators as like a readout screen. So any like you can access like copies of like their prime directive or whatever like that, things that are open knowledge. Like it also has a little thing in it you can slide in any type of offline messages in case there's something that you don't want to share with the rest of the group. And he did have one in his pocket, in his pockets.
And this is stuff Lucius taken, or is this stuff that Marcus?
I think it's you guys.
You, Marcus.
Yeah, you.
Okay, it's still me. Okay, I thought I
you.
misunderstood.
It's still you. That's unless you want to go for unless you want to spend any more time searching like another round, then probably that's the only thing. That's the only stuff that's of any immediate value.
Sim
What's that, Rock?
Sim shots or whatever.
Oh
Stim
yeah,
shots. Yeah.
He doesn't have any on him because he probably used them on himself or something.
Yeah, he did.
You do know in your kind of like prime edict, it is been ingrained into all y'all's minds that you don't leave behind visible tech, and even his skin suit is visible tech. That would be contaminating the anthropological contamination.
All right.
Though, of course, your enemy has tech as well, so who knows?
I would absolutely go and get that.
You would just mainly referring to a skiing suit, which would take a little bit of time to remove.
Yeah,
And
I would definitely like go and maybe not in this segment, but like the next one or something, go and aid in removing that.
Yeah, I think Marcus would call you over for that too.
Yeah,
there are also faster ways too that don't involve removing it. Just whatever. But yes. Okay. So anybody who hasn't gone yet, I'm not going to start counting segments because there's nothing really at this point. Though you can hear the enemy's definitely closing in on your location. You get the sense that you're probably 2 to 3 rounds from arrival. Now, I will say that unless anybody's doing immediately, the 4 monk-like strangers step forward after deliberating amongst themselves. Last chance, with us or not, we are leaving. You will die if you stay here.
Do we know like the extent of who's chasing us? I'm sure that might be from an earlier adventure.
Numbers or who they are?
How about both? I think maybe I missed that in the recap.
It is the guy that you have prisoner. It's just more his people, and they're the ones that were they are wearing armor that makes them look like medieval style, but they also have weapons that are those archaic for you but way advanced for them,
right?
The mid somewhere between when the colony would have first been established 40,000 years ago, but all closer to your current, but still older than your current.
The most we've learned about them, we just learned.
Okay. The Inquisitor and all that, he's coming. Great. I say we go with these people, the monks, and leave this guy behind.
Yeah,
agreed.
Do we dispose of him? I mean, is it
at the very least we can knock him out, kind of pistol whip him with the last.
Well, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like just straight out murdering someone.
Yeah.
Candace can just like nerve pinch him or something, knock him out.
That too.
Do it.
Up that stuff.
Who's taking on the deed?
Well, segment 4, I'm going to assist Lucia in removing the skein suit instead of damaging it, just removing it.
I think Danil's going to
you
be
could just
doing it
tell.
because we're all skein suiting.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
you
I'm
can- so you
I'm
just
nerve
tell-
pinching this guy.
Keep in mind, Candace is still holding this guy by the neck, so
Yeah.
she could do something for you if you wanted her to.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Knock him out.
She just nods and goes, and then he like goes down.
All
Oh,
right.
she snapped his neck.
What do we
I
do with
didn't hear a snap, but
Mhm.
all right, let's go.
Yep.
Roll out.
Agreed.
So you've pulled off the skiing suit off of Durand?
Yes,
Okay. Who's taking that, just for the record?
I'll take it.
It folds up real nice and tight. It's really, I mean, it's called a skin suit for nothing. It ain't called for nothing. It folds up really nice and tight and compact, like almost like a parachute, you know.
Love it.
And so they're like, you know, the Pavia turns to the bear. She's like, Turlo, you trust them? And it just kind of looks at her and she's like, good enough. And then she looks to the oldest of the people, of the four of them. There's probably a man in his like 50s. She's like, Master Elias. It is so. It is upon us. We will take responsibility for these if they go against the way. So they turn and start heading deeper into the woods, just not even checking to see if you're following.
All right.
And then the bear, who they referred to as Turlo, begins to follow.
And are we out
Let's
of?
go.
Yeah. Are we out of the initiative now, technically, or?
Not yet.
Okay.
We are for your personal action. I just want to keep it in order of to know if you guys are moving as a group. It's almost like side initiative right now, just because I
Right.
want if these guys are going to catch up to you or not.
I would probably bring up the rear then in that case. But did my nat 20 do nothing?
Oh, as far as the because you were trying to. Oh, you mean when you did your effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had instilled in him, but he got knocked out, so he wasn't able to really do much more. There was because you guys were distracted by what happened with Durand, so he wasn't really able to get much out. Actually, though, I will give you a chance. Let's see if let's see what he might have. Give me a let's do another roll under luck check for you, Rocky. See if because there's probably not a good chance that he would have got anything else out, but I'll give you a small one because you rolled so well.
Same thing I rolled last time.
You rolled what?
Same thing I rolled last time. Nope, not even close.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it would have been hard for him to get much else out anyway. He gave you a few things previous to that though.
Actually, it would take all of our fleeting luck.
Jesus.
6 points. And that would be equal to my, or no, actually, no, that wouldn't even work still. I'd still need 3 more to get to 7.
Gotcha. So what are you guys doing anything with his, but you're just like leaving the guy who's knocked out on the ground? And obviously you're leaving naked Durand there, but like what about this guy Saban, the soldier? Are you just leaving him knocked out on the ground, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably not a lot of time? If you were to stay behind to tie him up or something, you would probably lose your guides.
Yep.
He's got his armor and stuff.
Oh, is somebody gonna try to take the armor?
I'd already been trying to from the beginning.
Probably. Yeah,
I'm-
that's gonna take a while though.
Yeah, if it's regular armor, it's gonna take a lot of doff, isn't it?
Yeah, it would, you doff it. It would take. I mean, you could do your best, then like know that you're gonna might possibly lose your compatriots, or you could just drag his body with you, you know, and then
I feel
try.
like you brought it up like a long time ago, trying to get it off.
Yeah, but there hasn't been a lot of it's been the same round since we just started, So it's gonna take a couple of rounds even just to get it off. There's only been one round since the initial when like Duran killed himself and when the guy started freaking out. So it's been like 2 rounds total since he blurted out the stuff he was saying. Then the next time Duran killed himself, and then were you helping? I thought you were helping with the skiing suit, right? No? Did I get that?
Rocky did come to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, like there are ways you could, in theory, get his armor. The most direct way would be to stay behind and just hope you can catch up. The other way would be to hope that they don't get mad and drag him with you and try to pull it off, along the way, at least parts of it. You could also just try to get like a piece of it.
No, it's not worth it to take a piece of it and slow it would just slow us down, and that's not gonna work. So
Depending on what you want, why you want it, like you might be able to get the breast piece, which is like the most defining piece of it. I'm not sure if that's what your purpose for wanting it was, other than just actual safety, defensive armor. But you could probably I would let you get like one piece of something off of it if you wanted.
no, I mean, maybe I can just cross my fingers and hope another opportunity will come along.
Yeah. Okay. But you guys are just gonna leave him on on the dirt, right?
Yep.
Along with looks like they did each other in almost. Okay. So yeah, so you guys kind of take off with the others. They're moving pretty fast. So let's do this. Okay, let's try a little bit of let's do a little bit of since they kind of know your position now. Let's try a little chase. Little chase rule is here.
Mhm.
Wow.
Cue the Benny Hill.
Yeah. This will be a short chase just to get to vantage point, but I am curious. Let's just give it a shot. So I got something here we can use. It's been a little bit. So basically, who everyone's sticking together, right? No one would like leave the slowest person behind, right?
No, I don't think Marcus would try to leave anybody behind.
Who has got the maybe you could deliberate amongst yourself. Who has the lowest agility?
Constance is the slowest moving, you said before.
Oh, Constance, yes, for sure right now.
But she's being carried.
Well, no, she's got her legs all jacked up, and she's not carrying any. She could, you could try to get her to be carried again. Would you guys want to have Turlo the bear carry her again, which would slow him down, so it might defeat the purpose.
He still is faster than us, even carrying 2 people.
True.
He was purposely slowing himself down to keep pace with us with them.
As you guys are kind of fleeing, Constance brings up that she's willing to hold them off. She said it's only statistically, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, in that case, 2 of us could help carry her so that,
Well, the bear could carry her fine, but because she doesn't even have a person. You guys carrying her would definitely slow you all down. She's just offering to make the final sacrifice and stay behind.
Stay behind.
And to buy you even more time. I'm not allowed to do this without a lead officer's task command. In this case, as you are all of the same, basically she says that since you guys are all basically the same rank, it falls to the medical officer. So that falls to a now.
What's that?
To make she can only take that order to basically sacrifice herself from you.
Any objections to the other three?
Negative.
It's your decision, so I've got nothing to say about it.
Yeah, Marcus right now is just knows arguing. We're in no position to argue, so defers to you. Yeah.
Hold them off, Constance.
I put my hand on Constance's shoulder and I say, "I will miss you."
Been very pleasant working with you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
As you guys start to go, I'm so bad at remembering characters' names. I'm so sorry. I should have you guys put it on your screens. But James, what's your character's name again?
Oh,
Marcus. But yeah, Rock, whatever you say.
Just before we leave though, like she had the extra lay scepter from the guy that we were leaving. I want to get that from her.
Yeah, she'll hand it to you. No problem. She kind of like, as everybody's running, Marcus, she kind of like gently kind of touches your elbow to kind of pull you over for a second.
Oh, for Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she just slips something into your hand.
Yeah.
Gives you a very knowing look.
Yeah. My eyes meet hers, and I think I just give a slight nod and move.
And she
And
says,
say, "Oh, sorry, you first."
she says the others wouldn't understand. Only you and I.
Yes. Good luck.
It's one of those those private data cards.
I'll write that down.
Do you have both of them now, actually? Those two private ones? Do you have
I
the other
do.
one? Yeah, you do.
I have the scouting ship access card, and I believe the next item after that was the offline messenger, or is there something in between?
Well, you have the one from Durand, right?
Yes.
So you have the one from Durand and the one from her. Those should be the only ones that you have, I believe. As far as
Okay.
the private messaging, offline messages that kind of slips into your, decoder / transmitter.
All right.
Don't get them mixed up. No.
They look the same.
That one's pink and has C+M on it.
Yeah. She wrote nail polish on it. Actually, this might I'm gonna say that we can actually skip the chase, because if she's staying behind, she can definitely slow them down enough. So if you guys are just kind of darting for it, we can just kind of not worry about the initiative for right now.
Wouldn't they be leaving Tech behind?
Oh, sheesh.
She you, for some reason, well, not for, I mean, for maybe she said something to you, you don't know, but James, your Marcus would know that she's probably gonna blow herself up.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, because I think that's what all androids have a programmed function for at one point, right?
And she, well, some of the more top of the line ones.
Well, then we should all have a bitter pill.
But she, yeah, so she'll, and that'll also probably help the problem, because it'll also take out the other evidence around her. But it means that you probably want to haul ass. So,
oh, also, just sorry, as a quick question, doesn't her consciousness get taken to another robot body at some point, or android?
Maybe it's on that.
Race?
Maybe it's on that thing.
The one that got blown
Yeah,
up?
it's true. It's true.
Maybe it is. They make them so small these days. You can fit a lot. Anyway, so you guys are running, right? Marching order. Using the rear. Using the front. So basically, you've got the very, very front. You've got your, Kung Fu: The Legend Continues, guys. You've got right after that. You've got Mr. Turlo the bear. Then you tell me.
I'll take next.
I'll follow.
Ourselves a little.
I'll take the rear this time to kind of make sure nobody's fallen.
I'm gonna write down these names. Just have them handy. Thorin, what's your character's name again?
Danill.
Okay. Then who is after Daniil?
Lucia.
Lucia. Okay. Then you.
I guess. I guess
I guess probably the very back would be. I would have to see Marcus is probably in the back, right? Just because you stopped for a moment to have.
Yeah, I said I was also in the back too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then
Right.
Rocky, who's Hydra, right?
Mhm.
And then James Marcus. I guess that's everybody now. Yeah, you don't have to track other people anymore.
That's what this is all about.
That's what this entire scene was for.
No, I would have done it if it.
Lazy DMing 101. Kill everybody off.
But we've got so many heroic sacrifices.
Anyway, so yeah, so go ahead. Let's see. I will let Thorin in the lead. Daniil, give me a roll under luck check. I'll make you the. Actually, who has the worst luck?
Probably not me.
I-
The worst currently.
Definitely not
10.
me.
I have 7. Or I'm
Yeah.
currently at 7. I was at 10.
Oh, actually, yeah, no, I'm at 8. Yeah.
So 7 is the worst. Okay. And who has the best?
I think it's me. With sorry, I had to redo that. 17.
17. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this where I'm making up I'm gonna try a new experiment rule to see if you so let's take the best one, subtract the worst one from it, making it a 10, right? 17 minus 7 is a 10.
Math.
So then we will take our person in the lead, who's Thorin, Daniil. You roll a 10 or under on a d20.
Okay. How's a 6?
That's good. So you've been running for, it doesn't seem like very long at all, when there's a flash of bright light, kind of like a predator, but not quite as big of it's not a nuclear explosion, or it's a very small nuclear explosion. But yeah, there's like a detonation, and enough that a wave of heat hits everybody, but not enough to damage anybody. But if you had failed that, the back row might have gotten a little effect, but you didn't. So yeah, so you guys take a wave of heat of wave. All right, and you guys keep going, running through the woods. Let's also have you do, everyone, I'll only make you do this once. Everyone give me roll an agility check. This is you're trying to so you roll, like, not a roll under, roll an agility check, add your modifier to it. And normally I'd have you do this at a negative, but since if you are following pretty precisely and they kind of yell back to you, follow our footsteps, these monks or whatever they are, you're just, let me know if anyone does not get a 12 or above. You can modify this afterwards if you want.
There's nope.
2 of us.
It's not
failed.
happening. Yeah, not happening.
This is just about, like, are you taking damage from the trees? I'm gonna one time.
I'm gonna go down again.
So we have 2 P. Oh no, how bad are you?
I haven't taken any damage, but I only got 3 hit points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 of y'all failed it.
Yep.
You got it, but between you guys, you have a pretty good amount of fleeting luck. So I don't know if anybody wants to use that now.
That won't help.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Neither
we
you.
don't have, I don't have, there's not 10 fleeting luck amongst
Nobody
all of us.
rolled a 1 though, right? Because that would, you lose all your fleeting luck if somebody did.
Not yet.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so it's gonna be the same for both of you guys. Anybody who failed, you are going to take the proper die for this. It's not gonna be much, but in this case it might be enough. Who knows? Oh no. Okay, so 2 points. Did that drop anybody?
2
Of-
points?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, is Lucia still good?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I
So
have
these
more hit points than Hydra had to begin with.
got more hit points than brains. No, so yeah, so as you're kind of like whipping past the trees, you're like, just because you realize you're going so fast, they're so pushed together. It's only when you get far enough from the explosion and impossible any enemy survivors that you finally see that the people in front of you start slowing down enough to catch their breath, even though they don't seem winded. And as you finally start to slow down, feeling a little bit safer, not knowing where you are, you do notice for the first time the sound of rushing water.
Oh.
That's getting louder as you continue forward. And eventually some light. You just automatically your brain's adjusted to thinking this was night. Specifically because of the cusp is so thick above your head that it basically turned day to night. But you realize now that it's still daylight because you can see some coming down up ahead. That you've completely lost all sense of what time of day it is, or if it's even the same day at this point. But as you guys are walking, continuing forward at a slower, more cautious pace, Pavia kind of turns back. Her and the other girl who's probably the youngest of the group is the one next to Pavia. There's a girl, can't be more than like 14, next to her, who looks a little nervous. And Pavia, seeing her nervousness, kind of looks back to you and says, "Whatever you do not touch the water. Don't even graze it with a finger or a toe. If it gets onto your boots, a drop from it, you don't touch that drop even. Nothing must touch the water."
Splash.
Well, I'm not one to argue right now with that.
She looks
Will
to
something happen? Will something happen to us, or will something happen to the water?
she kind of looks to the bear, Mr. Turlo or whatever. He kind of grunts. Everything that's corrupt about this woods comes from that water. It changes what touches it in ways that cannot be predicted and are very uncontrollable and are rarely good.
Out of character, possibly some leakage, maybe, of something, some type of chemical. I don't know.
Nuclear waste. And in short order, even you kind of get a sense of why they're kind of going slower now, because as you approach the water in the clearing, there are little like rivulets of like in the like almost like a little bit of damp marshland in certain spots where little rivulets of water have kind of come out of whatever the source is and have made like little pockets of dampness that they're clearly avoiding. And as long as you're behind them, you're not really any risk of any danger of accidentally stepping upon one. Unless anybody's doing anything else, in short order, probably another 30 minutes of walking, you finally enter the clearing proper, which it's suddenly like the entire scope of everything changes, because you come into a very wide, almost like curved, like a very large, almost like the edge of it almost feels like you hit the edge of the forest, even though you're still technically kind of in the forest. And in front of you is like barren land, just scorched earth, basically. Some rivulets of water, and then basically a giant moat, like a lake that serves as a moat. The moat goes to the base of a large rock formation, which seems to be the base of the mountain. It's so wide. It's the width of the mountain alone is intense. And this is just if this is a colony lander, which it more than likely is, that a very huge portion of it is underground. It burrows into the ground. normally these landers are, something about roughly about 35 miles. They can be up to 35 miles in length and like 20 miles in width at their base. So it's pretty intense. These things are meant to carry over 1 million people. They land once, they never leave. They could never get back up into space again. They're just too huge. They're not even built. They're built in space as well. Your modern ships use like basically like video filters and like mirrors and lasers to create like a fake exterior, kind of like a chameleon effect like your ship is using. These are old enough to not use that. They are actually has a stone coating on the exterior that you probably like itself is probably like, 1/4 mile thick, if not more. You guys don't know for sure. You just heard legends of these things. No one's seen one. They've not been in operation in many, many millennia. But yeah, but this thing it looks pretty convincing as a real mountain. In fact, it might be. It just happen, though it is the source of the beacon. And as you can kind of like, you can't even see the top of it. It gets obscured by, even parts of the trees around it. And it is also kind of like, you can kind of tell, or you get the sense that there's other rocky ranges around it. Like it kind of like when it dug into the ground, it probably forced up its own mountain range by just displacing the earth. But there's the water, this moat like lake that you can't even see the full extent of it because you can only see a little bit of the curvature. It's so big. The thing that is very, very apparent about it though is the water is not still. It's rushing in a clockwise rotation, like so fast, or it seems to be clockwise. Again, you can barely see the curvature, just enough, but it's like it's just like it's almost like spinning at a pretty high speed. The water itself is nothing crazy looking about it. It does seem to have it does seem to be lit somewhat from underneath. Like there's almost like a white blue light kind of like coming out. Other than that, their water is like foamy in places, clear in some places, and kind of, it's got just random patches of displacement. The only other thing that you notice of any there's no other life around here either that you're seeing, other than just in the clearing. Nothing's actively hanging out here. You don't see like, there's obviously no fishes or anything in the whipped around in the water. The youngest of the group, the one that's like 14, she kind of looks at you, says, it is the churn.
The churn
is the god water.
Write that down.
It makes all life in whatever pattern it wishes. And it's fickle in its desires.
Let's see.
My own father fell victim to it many years ago. Pavia looks to her and says, Amanya, no. Do not fill their heads with stories. It will only confuse things. Then she kind of points to, Pavia points to something, and you see a very, a relatively narrow stone arched bridge that seems to, it definitely starts obviously at the shore, and it goes far enough. It arches up a good 20 feet or so above the water and kind of disappears into a mist. So you it assumedly probably reaches the other side, but it's the width, I guess, the diameter, the radius of the moat from where you are to when you get to the shores. It doesn't touch the mountain proper. It touches like a base, basically a bunch of craggy rocks that kind of make a little like its own little like battlement around the mountain. But it's probably a couple of miles. It's probably at least like 2 miles, if not more, at this position. So that bridge, which looks like almost supernaturally suspended because it looks from where you are, it goes up high enough, like it almost looks like an arch, like you would be walking across the arch of like the San Francisco Bay Bridge, or or something, but you're not sure what's supporting it because it looks like it should not. It's not a suspension bridge, it should not be able to hold its own weight. And so the elder man of the group, the eldest, he turns back, the one that was called Elias, he says, that is where we cross, if you did not already assume.
Very well.
You fear not the mist. It diffuses when it reaches a certain height. It cannot harm you as long as it does not touch your flesh. It takes a true contact with the fullness of the water. Even a drop, though, is bad. The mist, something happens to it at that height. It's not quite as harmful.
Part of me wants to pull out the nano diagnostic tool, but not time and place, right?
Yeah.
Are you prepared? There is no coming back if there is an accident. If you slip, there's nothing to prevent you from falling. There's no way to bring you back. Once you're gone, you're gone. And another thing to be aware of. The water, the churn right now, as you see it, rushing as it is, this is considered calm.
Calm.
It is at peace right now. Unpredictably, the water levels may rise. And though it seems unlikely, and you might not believe me, you think I am speaking of strange tales, there are things that live in the water. Things that can reach us, even upon the bridge. There are terrible serpents. But there is no other way to meet your goal.
All right.
Got no choice but to press forward, I guess, huh?
Really?
There is
Yeah.
no shame in turning back, however. It is your call.
Does anybody mind if I try to contact HQ again and see if what's going on there still for an update, or are we jammed again?
No, you're not jammed.
Okay.
Would you have to like pretend like you're praying or something in front of these people?
That's a good question.
I mean, go for
Probably
it.
best you do.
I thought
Well-
we had communicators where we could communicate with each other without anybody else hearing.
Yeah, but if he's speaking to no one, like out loud for the other person to hear. That was my thought process.
You can,
think-
as far as the response from it, though, you can either have like a little thing in your ear, or you can go into speakerphone mode, but you can definitely keep it so they don't hear the other end of the conversation. You've got a choice there. But yeah,
I think I'll abstain for now. We'll have a better opportunity. It looks like we might not get a good answer anyway.
though also it's very loud here as well. Like there are ways, it's possible you could, if you hung back, or you might be able to find a way. There's enough like roar from the water to make something like what you're saying possible. If you're clever.
Let me ask. I forgot his name. Who's talking to us?
Yeah, Elias.
Elias. How soon must we cross?
Depends if you feel that you still have pursuers. Those Lentaki, their ultimate goal is this. is Mount Saline. That's their ultimate. They will do what must be done. If they live, they have no fear in crossing this bridge. That is why we of the Staying Hand exist. It's to stop the interlopers. We were ordained by the gods for this purpose.
Let us discuss for a moment. And maybe the four of us can like pull aside ish towards the water.
Okay.
Like not like up in it, but like close enough that we can be having a conversation.
Right. And
Marcus, you can call back and be talking to us. And I'll take my biospecimen scanner and try to scan the water a little bit.
Okay.
Low key.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
So first, as
Get
you start
information
walking,
before we lose the opportunity. I don't know.
are you guys kind of doing that together? Or?
Yeah. Do they have their eyes kind of on us like a
They're
hawk?
kind of, I mean, they're not like studying you. They're just kind of giving you a respectful distance, though. The youngest of the group, that Amanya, she kind of like rushes up to you as you start kind of like going over to talk. And she looks like she wants to ask a question. And she looks very kind of like saucer-eyed and like excited. Is it true that you're angels? You are of the gods. You come from where they come from, yes?
In due time, we'll have plenty to answer.
She looks to Lucia. You are the one directly representing the demiurge. Yes? I'm not worthy of an answer. I'm sorry. I should not. She looks kind of cowed and shamed, and she's like, please accept my apologies.
There's no need to apologize.
Javier yells for her. Amanya, stop bothering them. Don't be foolish, girl. Get back here. She kind of nods and just rushes back, looking very red-faced.
I turn to Marcus. You're better at the angel stuff than I am.
Well, I certainly don't feel like one. That's for sure. I think for now it'd be best to just defer all the questions in as neutral way we can. We don't even have enough of a lay of the land here to even play a role if we wished. But I don't know. Should I contact the ship again? I feel we might be able to get a better answer, but who knows?
I mean, we can at least see if it's blown up.
I hope not. All right, I guess now I kind of just kind of nonchalantly activate it.
I will just not that this is relevant now, but I'll just let you know because I know you're concerned about the ship. So obviously this is the lander. Your main survey ship's still in orbit.
Yeah.
There is a secondary lander on that ship, and that ship is not completely unoccupied in theory at this. You don't have a way, your communicators don't have the range to reach the ship. Only something like a colony transmitter could reach, or like inside the mountain, or your lander, if it exists still, could reach it as well.
I guess I meant more like the lander ship.
Yeah, no, I know.
I did last time.
It sparked my thing just to let you know, just so you didn't. No, it's not relevant to this exact moment. It's just something that, it might come in, might be something that you'll want to know for later potential.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you guys are going to get as close as it is safe to the water where the spray doesn't hit you, but still as close otherwise. Is that the idea?
I suppose so, unless anybody objects.
I'm covering for them, gesticulating and stuff like we're having a conversation.
I'm going to send a private message to one person So somebody might see something in their chat, but I'm looking for them.
Someone's in trouble.
Oh boy.
One me.
Everything just goes wrong at once.
Cool. I think I did it right. Hopefully I only sent it to one person. just giving that person, they don't need to respond unless they want to. Just so they know. All right. Any hoozle. Oh, while I'm actually in that, let me give that person one more piece of information. Unrelated. Sorry. Type faster, me.
You're good.
We're waiting.
Okay. So the Lucy, you're trying to do so for you got one person's gonna contact the ship, and then Lucy, you're scanning the water. Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
trying to get just like a little bit of
See what the matrix is in
just
there?
yeah, some sort of quick read on it. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So it's mostly water, standard water. But your radiation, the rads kind of go off the chart on your scanner. It's only a fraction of a percentage of a very dangerous radioactive substance, similar to plutonium, but like a refined it's basically the exhaust waste, usually just jettisoned into space of from an older, out of date, like not clean energy version of a starship. Something
That'll
that
give you cancer.
something
No
that
doubt.
you guys have long since replaced 40,000 years after. Also, you would know that a lander like this makes zero sense, that if it's coming because there's still an active engine exhausting, there's no reason why the engine, it's a completely it's like the last thing you'd want to do is to have once it's been burrowed into the earth, to have the engine still going, basically, or have the exhaust still fomenting.
So the logical conclusion is that the engine continued to run.
And likely it either still is, or it's probably not at top capacity. This depends on, you don't know about how so much of it would depend on how deep it's into the earth, which you don't have enough context clues. You'd have to know exactly its measurements and how much is sticking out exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
But either if it's really deep, the engines could be on pretty powerfully. If it's not very deep, it's probably just also, but you do get the sense that if they were on full blast, even if it was deep enough, it would be causing all sorts of seismic activity and probably be jacking up more than just the water here.
I'm going to share the information and the conclusion with my party here.
You can also kind of get the sense that very easily now that it doesn't take much to kind of realize that more than likely the kind of ethereal glow is probably just whatever is coming from the actual, it's not, you're not actually seeing it directly out of the engines that's way below the earth. It's just whatever's kind of seeping upward, light wise. So it's probably more of a, it's also so diffused because it's so deep that you can't, but it makes sense that would probably be whatever engine activity is happening, or thruster activity is happening. is that these ships used a very old form of like a mixture that had like some antimatter in the mix, but is mostly, a lot of old style, kind of much older nuclear fission type engines that had a lot of bad byproducts. Though it is strange, you're not sure. It would make you probably also question, especially as a doctor, if they're exaggerating the results that come out of it, because no, there are mutagens that could happen from this type of chemical, this type of matrix that's in the water, but something that would instantly turn you into something else seems like a fantasy.
Right.
It seemed pretty
I will
adamant.
share that as well. Seems like a conflation.
They do seem pretty adamant about it, though.
Well, we'll respect them, or I will.
Yeah, and meanwhile, what did you say about the excuse me, the callback? Did I get
Oh,
it wrong?
yeah. So okay, so it's gonna you're getting an open channel, so there's some things receiving it, and it's really weak signal. It's mostly very choppy. You start receiving little snippets. You have to you need a way to boost the power to get anything better. If there's these things have input, so if you have if there's a way of boosting the power somehow, you could drain another device maybe by hooking up its output to the input of that thing. If you wanted to try to clear the signal, if you had another technological device, it could be another communicator, it could even be a las scepter.
We've got the normal the non offline communicator that Durant had. We can do that.
You want to add that to the mix, kind of daisy chain it in there, or chain it?
What would I hear first? I guess
you're just hearing. You can't even make out whose voice it is, so but it sounds like a normal. It sounds like a crew member's voice saying, "But still, but there, we're like it's just like just fractions of words."
Yeah, it's worth it to try, because I mean both these communicators are the same, right? There's one's not got a special function. Yeah.
No, they're the same. And all your every one of your modern devices are compatible in the sense they can transport energy to they can feed off of each other as like backup batteries. They're made specifically for that purpose. In theory, the only ones that really can't do that safely, you can even in theory turn your communicator into a little bit of extra ammo for a las scepter that's been exhausted, though that's dangerous. It's not really, that's a little bit like a fire. You could do it, the chance it'll work, it's going to be a little unstable. So if you ever do exhaust your las scepter, that is a good reason to hold on to a communicator if you want to play with fire a little. But in this case, it's not as dangerous to go the other way. So you're hooking up Durant's to his communicator to yours.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I'm not gonna make you check. You guys all have this is all basic skill stuff for you, and it's not worth even doing a special check for. So you start cleaning it starts helping the signal. You can get a little bit clearer, but it's still pretty janky. If you daisy chained one or two more, you get the sense it would make an exceptional difference. If not, you can try to have a conversation now. But
I'll bring it up to the rest of our group and say, does anybody have a communicator not planning on using? Or is
they just go away? They just become.
Well, no, they just get drained. They still exist. They do literally just sucking the power out of it.
Yeah.
You can have mine.
Yeah, same.
All right, so that's 4.
Yeah, that's enough to get a pretty good. Yeah, it's like, and then you hear the end of it, a signal boost. Wait, where are you? I can hear. There's a lot of ambience.
Oh, that's the signal on the other end.
That's what you're hearing.
You think you recognize the voice. So that It's actually your old buddy Sayat, your overseer, the one who's in charge of the entire mission, the one who represents the religious group, the benevolence. He's basically the mission commander.
Yeah, send us out early, right?
He's the one.
That
Yeah,
was the guy? Yeah.
He was the head of the main captain of the ship, still up top side, but
Yeah.
this guy is the head of. He's like the main dude down here.
Yeah. Sayat, is that you? This
Yes.
is Marcus.
Marcus, you made it. Where are you? We barely got away.
First off, what's going on your end? Are you still under attack?
They're down there. There's more of them. We managed to get off the ground, though. We took heavy casualties.
Damn. We've lost 2. Durant's dead. Constance sacrificed herself to let us get away. We are being pursued by similar assailants, but on the ground.
On the explosion, we recognized the heat signature. We assumed it was her sacrifice or otherwise, but I assumed that it was Constance.
We managed.
We can do extraction.
Well, we're not quite sure yet. It may be too difficult. I think we found what we're looking for.
Can you ping your coordinates to me?
I kind of, before answering, nobody else can hear what I'm saying, right? Or I should say what he's saying.
Depends on if anybody was huddled with you or you tried to. Was anybody huddled with him? I assume that you guys are all
like we all are.
Yeah, so I imagine we could.
Yeah, I mean, if unless you were trying actively not to have them hear that, then yeah, they can hear it.
Yeah, and I would say I'd try to.
How many are left?
4 of us: myself, Lucia, Hydra, and Danill. We've made some life-altering discoveries here. We'll have to.
The ambushes have tech. They have ancient tech. They have early Imperial tech. Post-colonial, but early Imperial.
We've seen later. About 30 years older than ours, by the looks of it.
Yes, we are speaking of the same.
All right. Well,
you have no idea how they got on.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sayat.
Well,
we need to do it. We need to extract you. It's the only we can't risk you staying there under these conditions.
Landing here would be foolish. We are surrounded by natives who've already unintentionally made contact with us and know of us.
We can send a coil line down from the ship. It'll pull you up.
They already know. We're too embroiled with them right now.
Wait, you're around the natives?
They found us. And there's more than just humans here.
Which ones found you? The ones that attacked?
They're not the same assailants.
It
seems they're a competing order, that they're at odds with each other. They're defending the ship.
Describe them. Wait, they're defending the colony, the lander.
They are
the mountain.
Yes, the mountain is what they would call it, and it seems that they have some type of their own conflations with maybe things that have leaked out of the ship. It's caused direct harm to the immediate environment. That explains a lot of the issues we've had landing here. Also, the assailants, we found out, I'm not sure if I've actually said this, were actively jamming our messages earlier. We had to use form communicators in order to get a hold of you, just right now.
Yes. I think I can tell because you're starting to get a little bit weaker because it's going through the energy pretty fast.
All right, I'm just gonna start shouting coordinates at them and say, we'll get back in contact as quick as we can. Do not immediately land. Otherwise,
but you give him like the rough coordinates where you actually like ping the coordinates where you are.
Would that require more energy? Or
No,
would I-
it's not the same.
Okay, then yeah.
Getting a lock. Do what you can to stay where you are. If there's any high ground you can get to the high ground.
Hmm.
We'll get you out.
Be careful.
And we can do it in a way where the natives won't know.
Yeah, I look up to the rest of the group and see if they want to say a word, just kind of giving a knowing glance.
As he's fading out, we've already pinged in we already started moving towards Constance's position before, and now ETA minutes. And then it's out. And all the communicators are just drained now. All 4 of those are just going to be.
Yeah.
They can be recharged, but right now they're just like dead cells.
I hand everybody's communicator back.
Have fun with these. Did anybody have one left over? By the way, is anybody?
Rocky.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Hydra's got one.
Just in case, got your little JK background. Just in case backup. Jesus. Anyway. So you guys are still kind of like the other guys are still giving you a respectable the staying hand, as they call themselves. They're giving them still your respectable distance. It's funny that the bear is kind of between both groups, not knowing where to go. He's just like, oh.
I was kind of wondering about Turlo for a moment. I was like, where is he?
He is staring. He is staring at with a very forlorn look into the water. Probably the mutations.
Are we waiting for extraction?
I don't think
so.
We can afford the wait.
Yeah.
All right.
We gotta cross this bridge.
Let's go.
Yeah. At least we've given them a trail.
Technically, for what you could actually access, the bridge itself would serve to be high ground, just because it goes up and over. It's it's the only high ground it's the highest thing you have access to.
Right, but the people, the staying hand, the natives, they're coming with us, right?
Yeah. There are guides, pretty much. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't trust.
We want to give them an angel's display.
But it seemed that Sayat did not seem very concerned about anybody seeing you, which is odd because normally he's like very by the book as far as that kind of deal, but following the directives. And he did mention that he had a way of doing it where they would not be able to tell, apparently. So you can't think of what that would be in any of your experience. There's no like magic ray on the ship. He's not going to beam you out or anything. Basically, he'd be lowering like a claw game. He'd be lowering a claw to pull you out, and you just grab on it. So that's pretty,
Could be I guess we could make an excuse to the natives here if we want to get immediate distraction, and they'd have to. I don't think that we would be able to get another in into whatever society they've got, and it seems like that might be the only way to get to where we need to on the ship, because who knows what the hell has happened there since.
We're here to find out all those things, and he's trying to now. Suddenly, it's like, oh, well, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Are we taking this into our own hands, or are we waiting back up? Yeah, I think Marcus reluctantly agrees. So
it sounds like he's a captive. If he wasn't already having plans anyway. Because I mean, he was awful, is my understanding.
Yeah, he is awful.
He wasn't the friendliest guy in the world.
I mean, I was part of what Marcus wanted to do was shout and cuss him out for being an idiot, but professionalism, right? We don't exactly have the power to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he's
professional, even if
not by the book.
Yeah. Extenuating circumstances and all of that. Let's go. Let's cross this bridge.
I'm ready to fall in.
I agree.
You want to how do you want to proceed? Do you want to like go back and meet the other group that you left over there, or do you want to like signal the or what do you want to do?
I say we
mean,
join them.
I agree. They're our best shot right now, especially if we get ambushed on this bridge, supposedly by serpent.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go back and rejoin them. Have you made a decision?
We go now, I guess.
It seems that the sacrifice that your friend made, however, whatever magic that entailed, seems to have done the trick, because we have no evidence of any more pursuit at this point that we can tell. Though, of course, we are dealing with supernatural forces here. But if you wish to cross, we are tasked. It is our purpose to bring you across. It is our entire purpose. We will guide you as deepest of our abilities that we can, and hopefully we will not fail you.
Maybe once we make safe passage, you can tell us more about how you knew we were coming, how your leader knew the future. But let's cross and we'll speak of this.
Amanya, the youngest one, she kind of like, she doesn't laugh, but she gets to say, "Oh, we'll have plenty of time to talk along the way. It's miles.
Great.
We must
Great.
walk
Oh,
very
wonderful.
slow." The crossing, well, I've never done the crossing myself. My father did the crossing many times until, well, he said it took, yes, Amanya, it takes several hours. In fact, at this hour, it is safest for us to get as far as we can upon the bridge and then camp at its apex, the highest. At the highest point, the bridge has a meeting circle. It was built by the elders, knowing that the passage is so slow that it serves as a halfway point. It even has a defensive wall there. It's the one place where we can take shelter to some degree and let our guard down, so to speak. If we make it there by nightfall, that would be a very good day. What say you?
To not keep us waiting then. Let's begin now.
It is best that two of us will take the lead, two will take the rear. That way, if there's any problems, we can make you aware of your own missteps to keep you alive. You must agree at all times to do exactly what we say. We do this not to shame you, but only to save you. Will you concede to our word, even though you are our betters?
When it comes to crossing this bridge, sure.
You honor us.
Right.
Yeah.
You honor us with this task. We are unworthy subjects. But
I slap this guy on the back. I say, I agree wholeheartedly with your sentiment.
You definitely get the sense in his however 50, 60 years of life, he's never had anything like that happen. He looks like doesn't know what to do with it. He's just like, whoa.
I'll like
It's like
lead...
you can't tell if it's a reprimand or a jovial thing. He's like, yes, an
opening mating move.
Nailed it.
Please.
Embarrassed. And you even see the youngest, she kind of like almost like stifles a chuckle there, seeing him kind of cowed like this. By the way, she's never seen him before. The only person that seems to have any degree of like taking it and kind of like seeing for what it is Pavia, who just rolls her eyes. the only one that you don't know the name. There's one, the one that's been the quietest this whole time is the other man who is actually the only other one that looks like has any he's, even though they all look, very similar, he has many scars that have even kind of obscured some of his tattoos. Looks like it's almost like his face took an acid hit or something at one point. Like half his face is kind of like, you didn't really notice it before because it's not like insane, but like now being kind of hanging out in this area, you can see that like something burned a big chunk of his face, and he's very kind of sullen and quiet, but very like, dutiful at the same time. He takes a nod from Elias and takes the lead and starts heading towards the bridge.
All right. I guess I'll take rear in this case. For our order.
As you're walking, Elias kind of brings up, he's like, there is a mother creature, a mother beast inside the waters. The only creature that can move and pace with the waters itself, and therefore is free to do what it wishes. It's not a slave to the waters. The waters are its companion. We call it the void. Its touch is different than the other things that live in there.
Mm-hmm.
Many pray to the void for this reason. There are the foolish come to this bridge. Sometimes they come there thinking if they jump from it, they will land into the void. Here's the mother void, and she will uplift them. They have never been seen since.
Sounds
Those
friendly.
who are not prepared for such things, it is oft said that ideas enter their head as they get closer to the apex. Do not trust any unnatural thoughts into your minds. If you have urges that you have not had before, perhaps to join with the water, you must fight the urges. It is the darkness of the mother void. She is the prime serpent. She coils around the base of the holy mountain. And she comes up looking for supplicants. She is not a giving creature, though. Don't let her influence
you. Noted.
Yep.
Marcus nods.
Positive.
He looks to the guy with the burns on his face. His name is Cern. You see his wounds, his badge of honor. He gained this. Do you know how he gained this? You would not know, of course. He did it to himself. Because the mother void called to him. He burned his own face, put a torch to it to stop the voices in his head. It is the only way he survived. He was the only one of his expedition who did. They were our scout predecessors. They used to. I am in charge of this area, this section of the dome where you have come out. Here at the base, what we call the Blight. This is my territory. I took over for those who were Cern, those who did not survive. You must be of strong will enough that you could do very similar. You could do the same that he did. I hope that you have. No, I'm sorry, I correct myself. I know you are strong, and I know you have the will. If must be, you will burn yourself to stop. I trust this. And he turns and keeps walking.
All right. Clear thoughts, everybody. Nothing in your head.
Easy. Easy task.
Well, just back
Oh,
on.
just good thoughts, he yells back. Good thoughts. You don't have to empty your head. Just empty your head of the mother void. If she
Okay.
reaches out to you, do not accept her in.
Good thoughts.
We can teach you our own songs of passage if you like.
Please.
For them.
Yes, that would be best.
I bet they're real jammers.
So
This is the Monty Python
Bangers,
monks.
even.
you guys are crossing.
Monk bangers.
You guys, anybody want to do anything before you start taking the bridge?
Go pee. I don't know.
Pee in the water, is that you said?
Yeah.
Just-
All right, guys, it's we're gonna need to take a bathroom break.
Yeah.
It's gonna
You
be
can
a
pee-
long trip.
You can pee off the bridge. We're good.
Some of us can.
But if you're-
Everyone can. Just you know.
It's complicated.
I'd rather not pull a Pippin right now. So
Oh God, yeah.
summon the Kraken from the
Oh yeah.
lake. Yeah.
What are those little fish? Anyway. we're gonna go. Let's go.
The Kraken, is that what?
Yeah, it was some tentacle creature that Tolkien did. But yeah, whatever. Let's go.
All right. 2 seconds to grab something real quick.
Indiru. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking cherry pie.
Oh yeah, no, good thoughts. Okay, that's right. Chill vibes only. Got it.
All right. So you guys, so when you get to the base of the of the bridge, you get a sense of how narrow it really. I mean, it's wider at the base, but it does narrow. But even at its widest point, it's eerily narrow. It's probably like about at its widest point, it's probably only like about 8 feet across. So you notice they are going single file. So you could go side by side, but there would be a little bit less of a buffer. So I assume otherwise you'd probably just do what they're doing. Or what do you guys think?
When in Rome.
Yep.
Marching order?
Yeah, unless they're gonna use some of that spray cord.
You have that spray cord. That's a very, I mean, and honestly, that's not a bad idea if somebody were to fall. It is sticky on the ends. Does anybody want to have that in hand as a last ditch emergency protocol?
Well, I thought that you sprayed it and it became a rope.
It does, but also if you spray the end against the surface, it might stick. So you might be able to start like a grappling hook almost.
We could stick it to each other. We can hose each other down.
Oh, you were thinking that way. That's an interesting thing too. I was thinking if you fell, you could try to shoot it up like a spider web, like a Spider-Man thing.
We'll be tethered together and safer.
That's an interesting thing what you're saying too. You could do that. I mean, you could definitely try something like that.
All right, I'm gonna take aim and shoot it at somebody's butt.
You're trying to make a coil. You don't
What's a marching order?
Yeah.
Do you want to maintain the marching order before, or do you want
Anchor it with the big guy.
Yeah, we'll maintain marching.
Yeah.
right when you get to the base, you notice the bear doesn't seem like he's going forward. He you see Elias, he kind of thinks he comes up to me, he's like, my friend, I am sorry for your losses. There will be a day when they will be spoken of. You will carry word of our passing. And the bear kind of nods, and he looks to you guys. And tries to look safe. with travels you.
I ask, he can't come with us?
Not for me. I am meant for not heights as this. Must return to Thistle. Bury my family. And he kind of be good friends.
I'm gonna give him something that I have as a token.
What you gonna give him?
I don't know. Just something.
Something non-technological, or
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a locket of your hair. Are you glad for that?
got a coin, a gold tooth.
Should do the glad
I'm gonna
hair.
I'll take his hand and hold up his palm and take a thumbprint of blood off my face and from going through the forest and put my thumbprint in the middle of his hand.
Should give him some cocaine
Carry me with you.
here. Turn him into Cocaine Bear. Give him some cocaine. Yeah, so you do the you got a blood brother thing, kind of.
Yeah, like carry my spirit with you, or carry
Okay,
thoughts of
sweet.
me with you.
I will remember this day ever always, and you must make for certain my kind, my family died for good reason. Yes.
As an aside, Clay, they weren't the same things that attacked us initially when we first started out, are they?
They were mutants. They weren't. I mean, no, that wasn't his family that attacked you now. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
They were just similar. They were also mutant bears. He's just mutated of it. I mean, the only thing they have in common is they were originally bears who probably got this water on them, or drank something. What happened to them after that is like, six half dozen of the other. They change, very differently. But no, that's not his family. Might be his cousin, who knows? But he was not the ones that attacked you were not in under the thrall of the guys, the Emerald Incendiaries, the Green Flames that can't got you. He was the one captive. They were randomly attacking you just because they were in the forest. They're predators. He just kind of like nods, and he stops though before he actually hands you something in return. Hydra, he hands you something. It's a weird, it looks like it's a carved piece of wood, or you think it was wood. It's like this black wood that's like super dense. And it's shaped kind of like it's like a carving of a leaf made from wood. Like a maple leaf kind of. But it's like the heft and the weight of it and how like sturdy it is very unlike any wood you've ever encountered before. You come, Thistle, my home, Thistle. You come, this says friend. And then he kind of walks away and as quickly slips into the woods and is gone. But yeah, you have this very like, then you hear ooh, and it's Amanya, or whatever, or is it Amanya, and she's like, weird wood. That's very rare.
How big is this? Something I can put in my backpack or
Yeah,
bag?
it's like the size. It's like literally like the size of a maple leaf, just as thicker.
Okay.
Gas powered
I'll put it away then.
I know you are of greatness from the skies, but do you know where the weird wood comes from?
Nope.
Enlighten us.
They say it comes from the remains of the tree people. When they die, they petrify and they become the strongest of all. It can break metal.
Oh.
Only the Fortrial themselves, the tree people, only they themselves can sculpt it. None else can. It's unbreakable.
Was he a tree person?
Oh no. The Fortrial will never show themselves. They have abandoned this wood many, many eons ago. Most of them were taken by the kingdom. They were enslaved many years ago. They kind of call for her, like annoyingly, annoyed at her, like stumbling behind, and she kind of rushes back up to her group. So you in your marching order, you take to the bridge, right? So we're still going, and Daniil, Lucia, Hydra, Marcus.
Yeah.
So
With in the back of so basically in the front, the basically the two kind of like leaders are in the front, Elias and Pavia in the front, whereas the very quiet guys, Cern and Amanya, are in the back. Every time Amanya wants to like ask annoying questions, Cern just kind of gives her a look. As you guys take to the bridge and start up your path, it's smooth but not like slippery smooth. It seems it's weirdly constructed in a way where any of the mist that kind of clings to it, like dew, kind of goes between these little like pebbled cracks that are very designed to like keep it so it doesn't like make it slippery. It's very like weirdly advanced in its design, yet at the same time not like high tech. It's not made of any high tech equipment. It's just very smart design, like almost like ultra advanced in just using very basic materials to create something that completely innocuous, but like it would take a very advanced kind of like engineering kind of mindset to be able to come up with something that complex, deceptively simple, but also deceptively complex. This is the first thing you guys notice on the bridge. You're very sure-footed on it. It's like it almost like makes it harder to slip. And there's nothing other than just the way the rock was carved. Yeah. So you guys continue up your way there, and it's also, you notice it seems there's also another weird thing that happens where as you're on that bridge, it kind of takes some of the ambient noise drops away. Like it seems there's something about the construction or just the angle of it, or you're not sure what, it doesn't make sense, that it kind of siphons off a lot of the, I mean, you can hear the water, the churn still, but it's like muted in a weird way. It's odd. You're not sure, not sure why.
Everything about this place is odd.
And as you're climbing up, we will give you one of our songs of our forefathers if you wish. You can fill your head with it. It is something that will help you. You wish this. It will keep out the mother void.
Sing us the song of your people.
He kind of like, as he like bellows out, he's like, on a dark desert highway. With my hair. And he just starts basically singing Hotel California. Warm smell of the rising.
Wow, this is a really old song, guys.
None of y'all would recognize this, but one person in your group would, and it's very strange to hear it. The Nostal in your group, Lucia, you're like, this is a very it's common enough ancient earth song for you to have trafficked in it before. It's considered contraband.
Sure.
In back home, but like it's definitely like there's no mistaking its origin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like doing it like this like tribal-y voice. Welcome to the Hotel California. What a lovely place. Such a lovely place. And he just keeps going and going. And the other ones, you can notice that the other ones around there were kind of solemnly are joining in. Even CERN, the otherwise quiet one.
Yeah.
You would know the
Make
lyrics.
no, yeah, I'm gonna make no move except to sing it in my head
Okay.
because I'm not letting anybody know.
Don't want to freak them out. Tip your
No
hand.
reason I should know this song.
No,
What do
there's-
they re-release this on in the future? You know,
Oh my
like
gosh.
Laserdisc.
like Laserdisc came back, except it was
Yes.
better. It was more like laser vinyl.
Yeah.
Yes. Complete revival of the Laserdisc.
Well, you know, vinyl made its 43rd comeback.
Right.
It's all back on wax again.
Super VHS.
Yeah, it's LSVHS. So after climbing for not too long, probably like an hour, it's hard to really keep time, and it's like you can start to see what you think is the apex point up ahead, which you should hopefully at this pace make by nightfall. And everything's going nice and well. And then Marcus, you hear it first, but then everyone else kind of soon after, moments after, hear it. Everything is muted outside of your little kind of bubble, your imaginary bubble that carries you up here, or that travels with you up here along the bridge. But you hear the rumble of an engine, unmistakably your lander.
Oh.
And as you're climbing, you kind of look back and you see just above the tree line, kind of homing in on your position, but still not quite fully, locked into you yet. Probably scanning the area. Your ship's coming towards in your general direction.
It doesn't need to, since they're wearing those diadems that give our information.
Right. Those aren't actually on right now. You have the ability to turn those on and off. Those diadems are usually you click on when you're in anthropological research mode. So like that's something that you would probably normally turn on once you're inside the mountain. You can turn it on if you want to, but like normally you don't turn them on until you need to for storage purposes. Because it has it does transmit, but it also records if there's a down transmitter or whatever, or they're out of Wi-Fi range. But
what about that? My communicator, can they track that even if I'm not using it? There's something on us that they can track.
You guys all have internal. You guys have there's you guys have a lot of weird things in your bodies. Like for instance, besides just like the tattoos under your ears, you have transponder signals. You also have I didn't bring it up because it's not relevant. It wasn't relevant at the time, but or still possibly not. Basically on your left hip, all of you have a little like a surgical port, like a plasticined port that's used to basically hook up to a body equilibrium thing on the side of a starship. So whenever they reach speeds close to light speed, you don't basically it equalizes your inside of your body with fluids, so you don't your body doesn't turn inside out basically. So you've got all sorts of weird things in your bodies like that, like a little body, like an was a force dampening fluid port, and then you do have stuff you're not actually fully even aware of some of the crap that you've been put into since you became Seraph, with the Seraphim. But you do know that you all have transponders that are only readable by your own people. So that's good, maybe. But that does include homeboy that you don't like. So anyway, And that's always active. That's like a find my phone kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, so he might not see you yet necessarily, but does anybody, I mean, wanted? I mean, I guess in theory you could throw him like, some sort of signal or something if you wanted to, or for some reason your the two in the lead, Elias and Pavia, don't seem to realize what's going on. But of course, since you guys are looking over, the two in the back notice what's happening. And Amanya is like, what is that? What's happening? Are they from where you come from? Are they also from the heavens? Are they coming to help us?
I'm looking at Marcus.
I'm trying to think of a neutralish answer.
Heavens are a crowded place.
Yeah,
Why'd you
Block.
they're
that works.
not enemies, are they? They're not here to hurt us, are they?
They should not. No. We'll just go with that for now.
You do notice now the people in the lead have kind of realized these are friends who come upon us. They are yours.
They should be. Yes, but we don't know necessarily. Things are stranger in the heavens than one would think on the road.
As your ship kind of gets in closer, suddenly you see it like a ripple effect go across its surface, and it's actually engaging in the weird kind of mirror light effect it uses to create like a fake exterior for itself. How it just basically turns into a cloaking device, which is
A little too late.
Yeah, a little too late for that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird that he would do it now, but now it's invisible. At least invisible to your eyes. It could be tracked by a heat signature.
Yeah.
Via your if anybody saw as a working, I think Anel, your character, I think you have a working scanner, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
It's a pain in the butt, and there's a little bit of a delay to it, but you could scan its position with some degree of delay, depending on how fast it's going.
Yeah.
Using that.
And that would tell me what would it do for us? It would tell.
Right now you can no longer see the ship. It's disappeared into visual. It would kind of give you it would ping its position. I'm gonna send another private message to somebody.
I say we press forward.
I don't really.
Yeah, I don't think Sayat's that incompetent to not put a cloaking device on the ship before landing. So
in the communication, they were still in combat.
No, they said they escaped with heavy casualties.
Right. Okay.
I see.
Let's message to
more secret messages. Oh.
Sorry, a second.
Who's getting it? I'm gonna just turn around, distract them, and start muttering what little I know of Hotel California now that I've heard a little bit of it.
Yeah, I think Marcus is gonna
You can
speak
do the
up.
chorus.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that part.
Marcus is going to shout out and say, "Get down," and drops.
All right, I'll follow suit.
Same.
The staying hand guys don't seem to understand what's happening, though. You notice that CERN drops, and both Pavia and Elias kind of look your direction, like what's happening, kind of look. They seem confused.
Trust us. Get down.
You're telling so you're kind of like repeating them to get down.
Yeah.
So everyone give me a reflex save. And tell me if anyone did not get a 10. At least a 10. Sorry.
It's just agility, right?
No, it should be. Well, it might be. I know. Yeah, in this case, you're 0 level. Yes, it's only your agility.
Okay, I did not. I hit a 9.
Well, keep in mind, people can help you out because you
I'll
got.
give you a
Oh wait,
you can have
I'm gonna use my fleeting luck.
Yes, you can.
Yep. There we go.
Anybody else would luck?
I did not make it, and no fleeing luck is going to help.
Hey, sure, because there's a lot of fleeting luck. Some people have doubles.
Yeah, we got 5 since he just used 1.
You roll 1.
No, I rolled a 4.
You could get there. Wait, because both
9 and 1 luck.
Oh, wait, you rolled a 1, Rockjewel?
No, saying if we gave him 5 luck and then he used 1 of his permanent luck, then he can make it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then.
Okay. Yeah, it's almost 11, so have it.
Yep. So you don't see your ship anymore, but you do see just a little ping of light for just a very innocent, completely innocuous ping of light, not like the lasers in Star Wars. And then suddenly, there's this like a shower of sparks that kind of graze the bridge, just shoot across it, and this Burton little like almost like there's a series of pops. You're being fired at by the onboard cannons. Everybody manages to drop, except for 2 people. One of them, Elias, the leader, staying hand, is like incinerated on the spot. Like no chance. And then you hear a scream, and the other one is an injured Imania, the youngest one. She's not dead, but she was scorched, and she's now hanging onto the side of the bridge, dangling above the precipice right now.
I will help her.
She won't be held for much longer, and that would be where we would roll initiative if it were an 11.
Cliffhanger.
Literally.
She's
so
Lainey
literally
Marie actually had a player reroll that she spent for me, but Elena's going to mark that down for next time.
Player reroll? What are you talking about?
She spent 1,000 bubble points or whatever it is on Twitch.
Well, hey. I didn't realize that's the thing, but we'll take it. I'm all about that. That's awesome. That's cool. That means people are watching.
What are those points called, Elena?
Dingle points?
Wow.
Channel points.
Okay. I prefer dingle though.
They're dingle points now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Dingle
I feel like I
points.
screwed up though with the coordinates, but
1,000 dingle points.
Okay.
You guys thought he was a jerk. You didn't know he was gonna try to kill you.
True.
Still don't know why.
Marcus is gonna feel guilty about this for a long time.
I mean, it could have been your ticket home. It could have been. It's like, you expected ET's. And if ET's family, you wouldn't expect in the last scene of ET that his family comes home and shoots him. Like
that would be a more interesting ending, yes. But
he was like, phone home. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, no, we definitely Elias the Elder, he was completely incinerated for sure. There's no hope for him. But Amanya, she's hanging on.
What about CERN and
he hit the deck? They safely hit the deck like you guys. They didn't get injured at all.
Mm.
Crazy, man.
It is. What incredible instincts Father Marcus must have to have predicted the laser before it shot.
Mm.
Anyway, well, cool. I don't know. I'm not looking at the chats or any of the things. We some people were watching. That's awesome. Was that a few people watching or?
Yeah.
We currently have several people. Yeah,
That's so
whether
cool.
they're watching right now or
Yep.
sleeping is to be.
They came for the game. They stayed for the Hotel California performance.
Yeah.
Now, acapella style, everyone.
Oh yeah, are we gonna get
a
in
one
trouble?
and a two and.
Purposely, I had to make it not sound as good as I can normally sing, just so we didn't get like flagged on like YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was
Right.
the only reason. I would have sang it like to my normal ability if it wasn't for I'm doing it for the sake of the show, so we don't get.
Licensing.
We all know how good you are at karaoke.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I do a lot of karaoke, and you seem to do karaoke. I think.
I have. Have you seen me do karaoke?
I think I have.
Mm.
Didn't we do it at the rap party for the movie?
I'm sure.
Who remembers anymore?
It's been years.
What are rap parties? I haven't been to one of those in a long time.
Well, it was fun, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for everybody who was hanging out. And
thanks several of you for being here.
Yeah.
Hey,
thanks for the dingle points.
The dingleberries.
I feel like the dingle point is a way. I would be much more into Twitch if they actually called it dingle point.
Like, don't let your dreams be dreams.
There you go. Yeah, we'll come back.
I feel like that's how you end it.
Yeah,
don't let you dream.
Little dingle point graphic.
Yeah, we'll come back and everything's been renamed on the channel to Dingle Points.
That's how we stay safe from violating the whatever the OSC or whatever they call it. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that. Anyway, but thank you guys, and see you in 2 Wednesdays for our great at-home audience, and I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, and hopefully I didn't bore you guys to tears, and yay. Are we so I guess we'll sign off from the Twitch part, right? All right.
All right.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
See you next one.